Okay, we're going to have a little lesson today about the research process and ethics in research. First, the process. These are pretty much the 7 steps in conducting a research project. Also, it looks like what you're going to have to do maybe for a senior project here at school or when you get in grad school, definitely. First, you need an overall research question. Like, how do the students feel about the food in the student union? Uh, excuse me. Next, you're going to have a literature review, which is the worst thing in the world for a thesis or a dissertation because you're going to have to find every single piece of research that was ever written about the topic in your overall research question. My thesis for grad school was 125 pages, and the lit review was almost half that. So joy, joy. Next, specific research questions. You need to drill down into certain aspects of the overall research question. That's how you're going to begin to analyze the data in SPSS and create your tables and write your reports. The operational design, most of you are going to do secondary research on existing data. That kind of lends into the next step, whether you're going to do primary or secondary data collection. Secondary data collection, you're going to be doing it all semester long in this class, where you're using an existing data set and doing analysis on that. If you do primary data collection, that means you're creating your own questionnaire. You're putting it out in the field, getting people to fill it out, writing a database. And in that respect, operational design is, how are you going to collect the data? Are you going to call people? Are you going to mail them questionnaires, or are you going to do it online? So online is the most popular, I think, now, but still calling people is the best way to get it done. Let's see, data cleaning and interpretation of analysis. If you collect your own data, you're going to have to dump it into an SPSS database and clean it. And that just means that you're going to have to get rid of any mistakes in data entry. Those mistakes have been minimized by the fact that most of the data dumps into SPSS are done by computer now, and the data collection itself. But still, you have to run frequency tables on every single variable in your database and make sure that there's no mistakes in there. And only then can you interpret or run the analysis easily and correctly. That just means that whatever you've decided to look at for your paper or for your project, you need to run the appropriate tests and interpret them. And we'll get into that later on in the semester. The last step in any research paper is a summary and suggestions for further research. The summary is self-explanatory, and further research suggestions. Pretend you're doing this project for 5 years in a row, and how would you change it next year to make it better? Okay. Let's go to the next. Hey, there it is. Ethics in survey research. There are certain things that you must have when you're conducting a research project. One of those is informed consent. That means that you are telling people what they're getting into, and then you're asking permission to survey them, right? If you call somebody on the phone, you need to tell them where you're from, what this is about, and ask them if it's okay to proceed. Lots of companies don't do that. The second one is confidentiality. You have to pretty much remind people that their answers are going to remain confidential, because some of the stuff that you ask them is kind of personal. So Confidentiality is key. The third one, authoritative pressure. You know, if you work somewhere and they send out a survey questionnaire, nobody who's your boss can tell you that you have to participate. And the last one is freedom to withdraw at any time. You know, this kind of goes together with the first one. You know, if you're asking for participation, some surveys are really long. So people are going to say, hey, my kid's crying. I got to go take care of him. Or dinner's ready. I got to go eat. You have to let them go if they say they want to withdraw from the survey. If you're with a reputable company or organization, then there's something in the little telephone computer that allows you to schedule another time for them to finish the interview. So you could ask them that, and if they want to do that, then that's your out. Okay? So that's the tiny lesson for today. And oh my God, are we going to have so much more fun as the semester goes on.